Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Eric Hunsker. I'm an online fitness coach and I specialize in helping guys lose fat and build muscle without hating their lives. And in this video, we're going to be going over 6 steps to be less fat without stepping foot inside of the gym. Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and check out erichunsker.com. There's an article on this if you prefer to read it, and be sure to go ahead and subscribe for more articles just like this. Now, if you're somebody who hates going to the gym, but you want to get started on your health and fitness, then this video is for you. Now, my guess is that if you're watching this video, your goal isn't to be super shredded, like getting ready for a bodybuilding show or something like that. My guess is you want to lose a little bit of fat, gain a little bit of muscle, and in the process, gain some confidence, right? And throughout that process, you don't want to hate your life while you're doing it. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do with this channel, with erichunsker.com, so be sure to stay tuned. So if losing fat and building muscle without hating the process sounds too good to be true, just go ahead and keep watching. Tip number 1 to be less fat without stepping foot inside of the gym: your calories need to be in check. You're never going to lose an ounce of fat if you're eating too many calories. Now, if that hurts your feelings or goes against your beliefs, well, I'm sorry, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but calories do in fact matter, and eating too many calories is the whole reason that we gain weight in the first place. The rest of this video is absolutely useless if you're eating too many calories. That's the whole reason that we gain weight in the first place. It's not too much sugar, it's not too many carbs, it's not pizza, it's not fat, it's not gluten. It simply comes down to eating too many calories. So how do you know if you're eating too many calories? Well, when you wake up in the morning and weigh yourself every single morning, and yes, that's something that I encourage you to do, and you notice that this trend, it's starting to go up. Well, newsflash, you're eating too many calories and you're starting to gain weight. But hey, it's okay. It happens to the best of us and it's not the end of the world. Now, if you're serious about losing weight, I think it's important to not only track your weight each morning, but also track your food, at least for a period of time. Tracking your food intake is what I have every single one of my one-on-one coaching clients do, and it really helps them build awareness around their food intake, and in the process, they learn a lot about food, and it can be a really eye-opening experience for you if you've never done this before. Now, don't get me wrong, tracking calories is a pain in the ass, plain and simple, but most things worth doing are pretty hard, so kind of suck it up and just give it a shot. Do it for a week and you'll definitely notice some things about your eating patterns and hopefully have that kind of aha moment like, holy crap, I've been eating way too many calories. But you know what? Tracking actually gives you freedom. Now, you might be thinking that tracking everything in an app and weighing things out, how the hell could that give me any freedom around food? That sounds like the complete opposite. But let me explain here. So, maybe you've heard that in order to lose fat, you need a diet where you eat chicken, rice, and broccoli, and you only eat that like 7 times a day. Now, that might work, and it might have worked for some people, but you don't have to do that. And it's not the fact that you ate chicken, rice, or broccoli that there's something magical about that combination that just causes fat to fall off your body. That's not the case. The case with that, and what's going on there, is you just happen to eat in a calorie deficit without tracking it. Just like you could save money this month without setting a budget, you just didn't spend that much. Simple as that. But you could have also lost fat by eating chicken, rice, and broccoli and having a piece of cake if you tracked it all and stayed under your total daily calories. And it doesn't have to suck. So the bottom line here for tip number 1, if you're eating too many calories, you're simply not going to lose fat. Plain and simple. Tip number 2 on how to be less fat without stepping foot inside the gym: make protein the star of every single meal. Now that we've got this idea of calories in check here, it's time to decide where these calories are going to come from and what your calories are going to be made up of. Now, going into every single meal, your first thought should be, what's the protein going to be? What's going to be the main source of protein in this meal? But you might be asking, what's so important about protein? What's so great about protein? Now, that's a great question, but here's a couple reasons why you should really be prioritizing protein at each and every meal. You see, protein is necessary to build lean tissue, aka muscle. Protein also has the highest thermic effect, which I won't get into to crazy detail here. We'll save that for another video. But essentially, your body uses calories to digest calories. It's kind of like the saying, you gotta spend money to make money. You gotta spend calories to burn calories. And protein is the most expensive at this, meaning to digest 100 grams of protein, it's going to take more calories to digest that 100 grams of protein than it would, say, 100 grams of fat or 100 grams of carbohydrates. Protein's also very satiating. So if you're someone who's a snacker, someone who just, you find yourself snacking on food all day long, maybe you're the person in the office break room hovering around the donuts. Now, if you're one of those people who is a snacker, what I want you to do is just try eating enough protein for like a week or two. I bet you that you'll start to see that snacking habit start to go away because it's very satiating. It's going to fill you up. The final reason that you should be eating protein every single meal, because it's delicious. Like, who doesn't want to eat a steak or some chicken thighs or some salmon? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Tip number 3 on how to be less fat without stepping foot inside the gym: don't drink your calories. Now, if you're someone who wants to be less fat, you should not be drinking your calories. Now, for this tip, I'm specifically talking about non-alcoholic drinks. We'll get to alcohol because that's a huge determinant of your fat loss success, but we'll save that for another tip. Drinking your calories is a straight up waste of your daily calories. It's not going to fill you up, not going to give you the nutrients you need, and it's probably going to be loaded with sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and a whole bunch of other crap that you really don't need. Like, seriously, who still drinks sodas? I remember when I was drinking 2 sodas a day, and guess what? I was super fat. So cut the crap. So things like fruit juices, sodas, sweetened teas, sugary energy drinks, Kool-Aid, all that stuff should be avoided. Stick to water, bubbly water, spicy water. You know the drill. Let's go. Got one right here. Tip number 4 on how to be less fat without stepping foot inside the gym: be mindful of sauces and dressings. Now, if this is news to you, you're probably not going to be very happy with me, but sauces and dressings have calories, and lots of them. They can actually add up super quickly. So things like ranch, barbecue sauce, ketchup, aioli, spread from In-N-Out Burger, the sour cream on your Chipotle, guacamole, all those, while they're delicious, and it's not that you have to get rid of them, it's just you got to be mindful that they're packed with a ton of calories. And these calories can add up super fast. We're talking a few hundred calories per serving, which that could be the difference of you losing fat or gaining fat. Now, I'm not trying to be a party pooper here and say you have to eat all this super bland food. You just got to be mindful of it. Now, again, if you're tracking this and it fits within your total daily calories, by all means, go for it. Knock yourself out. But also be on the lookout for like other sauces that don't have a ton of calories. Stuff like sriracha, other hot sauces like Frank Red's Hot, Tapatio, Cholula, mustard's another good one. It's like 5 calories per serving. So stick to those and use the other ones, but just be mindful of it. Tip number 5 on how to be less fat without stepping foot inside the gym: alcohol must be accounted for. Now, I'm all for having a good time and throwing a couple back, don't get me wrong. And sometimes it's absolutely necessary to let the dogs out and get loose as a goose. But if fat loss is your goal and a main priority, getting your booze in check is non-negotiable. Progress simply won't happen if you're just sucking down the booze like there's no tomorrow. So alcohol makes you more fat in a few ways. It's highly caloric in and of itself. It leads to us making poorer decisions down the road. That late night Taco Bell typically doesn't happen when you're sober, typically. Alcohol also ruins your sleep, which has a whole other host of problems associated with it. And when you drink alcohol, your liver has to process and digest all the alcohol before you can start to digest and process all the other crap that you're eating. So this typically leads to, that takes a while, and in the process, you're going to store fat. Alcohol also ruins your strength gains, reduces muscle protein synthesis, aka the building of muscle. It reduces testosterone, it reduces growth hormone, and increases cortisol and estrogen. Now, in order to successfully lose fat, you don't have to completely cut out alcohol or any other food group. In fact, I encourage you to figure out ways to incorporate the things that you enjoy most on your journey to losing more fat. But you do have to be mindful of your alcohol consumption and these other highly caloric foods and things that we've been talking about. So some general guidelines for moderate alcohol drinking is for men, that's no more than 4 drinks per day or 14 drinks in a week. And for women, that's no more than 3 drinks per day or up to 7 drinks per week. Stay thirsty, my friends. Tip number 6 on how to be less fat without stepping foot inside the gym: make sleep a priority. Now, this one doesn't matter what your goals are, whether that's fat loss, muscle building, running $1 million business, whatever. If you neglect your sleep, you're messing up. You shouldn't do that. You really shouldn't. Now, if there's one thing that you could do that could have a multiplier effect on every other area of your life, I would say that is sleep and getting enough quality and quantity sleep. Maybe you're one of those people that live your life based on the mantra, you can sleep when you're dead, or, I'm always hustling, I'm always grinding. But that's probably going to cause you to die even sooner than if you just chill out and go to bed. Because according to the research, sleep is among the most critical factors for peak performance, memory, productivity, immune function, and mood regulation. Here's a quote from a book that I'm reading, The Organized Mind. Even a mild sleep reduction or a departure from a set sleep routine, for example, going to bed late one night, sleeping in the next morning, can produce detrimental effects on cognitive performance for many days afterward. When professional basketball players got 10 hours of sleep a night, their performance improved dramatically. Free throw and three-point shooting each improved by 9%. So just imagine how those 2 to 3 nights per week, when you're going out on the town till 3 a.m., also drinking, which is making your sleep even worse. Think about how that can throw off your whole week or even month, depending on how hard you go. Now, if you're not convinced yet on how you should hit the hay, fine, here's some more facts that'll scare you straight to get you into bed. According to the CDC, adults should get 6 to 10 hours of sleep per night, but 1 out of 3 working Americans reported that they get less than 6 hours of sleep. In 2009, sleepiness was responsible for 250,000 traffic accidents and one of the leading causes of friendly fire and war. Sleep deprivation has also been ruled to be a contributing factor in some of the world's most well-known global disasters, including the nuclear power plant disasters at Chernobyl, the 3 Mile Island in Pennsylvania, Davis-Besse in Ohio, Rancho Seco in California, the oil spill from Exxon Valdez, the grounding of the cruise ship Star Princess, the fatal decision to launch the Challenger space shuttle, and the Air France crash in June 2009 that resulted in 288 people dying because the pilot was running on 1 hour of sleep. Not to mention that lack of sleep is also associated with an increased risk in heart disease, obesity, stroke, and cancer. So yeah, get your sleep. Here are some good guidelines and tips to get the best quality sleep that you possibly can. Aim for 7 to 9 hours, but the more the better. I know for me personally, I perform best on 9 hours of sleep, which for me means I need to be in bed for about 10 hours. So to figure out when you need to go to bed and when you need to wake up to get enough sleep, Apple actually makes it really easy in the alarm thing here. They have this whole sleep schedule thing you can set up. So, if I wanted to make sure I get 10 hours and I'm waking up at, let's say 6 a.m. tomorrow, I'd have to be in bed at 8 o'clock to ensure that I'm in bed for 10 hours, which I'll probably be asleep for 9 hours, so you get the gist. Next tip, keep your room dark. I have blackout curtains in my bedroom, but I also wear a sleeping mask, and those two things are literally non-negotiable for me. Make fun of me if you want, but I'm sleeping like a baby. Earplugs are also a huge tip here as well. If you have roommates or maybe you're just a light sleeper or whatever, check them out. Definitely make sure that you're winding down before bed. So get off screens, ideally an hour before bed, and maybe pick up a book. Reading can be super helpful to wind down. I prefer fiction over nonfiction. I actually just started the Harry Potter series. Well, I'm on the Goblet of Fire right now. So, and let me tell you, it's fire. So yeah, read a nonfiction book before bed, sleep great, let me know how you feel. So there you have it. There's 6 tips on how to be less fat without stepping foot inside the gym. So if you watched this and you felt like, wow, Eric, that's a whole lot to take on, I'm gonna have to really uproot my life to change all these things in one day. Well, you're right. And I don't expect you to make all these changes in one day, even 1 week or 1 month. These are things that, you can start to work on, for the next year. And what I advise you to do, go back, rewatch this video and kind of audit your life, right? See if any of these resonate with your life. Maybe sleep's a huge thing for you. Start there, right? Start aiming to get a couple more hours of sleep, a couple more minutes of sleep each night and see how you feel. But if you're still not sure, and you want to follow a proven system and get professional help, I am taking one-on-one coaching clients. So head on over to erichunsker.com, hit on the coaching inquiries button, fill out the quick questionnaire there, and we'll be in touch. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay tuned for the next video.
Peace!